Confluence, shaping cultural identity. This temple is located in Orcha, and Orcha is one of the significant towns which is located in the Niwari district of Madhya Pradesh. And by looking at the geographical advantage of this temple, of this region, Bundelkhand has decided to shift their capital, and it was founded by Dr. Pratap Singh, who was the founder of Orcha. Veer Singh to Bundelkhand, she was the fifth ruler of Bundelkhand dynasty, and he was the one who has commissioned several construction buildings at Orcha, and Lakshminarayan temple was one of the architecture building that was commissioned by him. If we look at the plan of this temple very carefully, the temple has rectangular in plan and it has three bastions. The entrance lies on the eastern side and it has octagonal color. The exterior or the outer wall of the temple is designed with ornamental and defensive features. So if you look at the upper portion which has a parapet and which has a parapet giving the structure a fortification against. Below the wall is relieved by the semicircular Jharoka arches and brackets which are painted. So overall the outer surface function both as protective boundary and provide visual print to the temple. The vesting of the temple, it has an elongated trunk and it has a canonical dome which extensively adorned with a lotus petal and has an amlaka and finial on the top. The entrance of the temple has a multi-faceted arches flanked by Jharoka arches and the curved arches, which actually suggests that the temple reflects the amalgamation of the Mughal and the Rajput style of architecture. And this shikhar, the temple features a very distinctive arrangement of shikhars, so that actually reflects its historical and functional evolution. So the mandapa is crowned with traditional Nagar style shikhar, while the octagonal garbhagriha is topped by the three-tier octagonal style. So such architectural design actually reveals that how temple spaces adopted over a time to serve not only the religious need or the function but also political and defensive need. So which actually put emphasis on the changing purpose of the temple through different periods. So one half of my paper has actually dealt with the architectural feature of the temple, and another part of my paper will actually deal with the mural paintings which has been present in the interior part of the temple. So once you enter in the temple through the eastern gateway, you will reach towards the middle one, which is the central part of the temple, and this particular veranda has an interconnected galleries, and these interconnected galleries actually facilitate the projection of color. And the garbhagriha of the temple is housed with the deity of Radha and Krishna, and according to local tradition it is believed that earlier the statue of goddess Lakshmi has been housed, but now it is stolen. So now I am going to talk about the narrative murals of Lakshminarayan temple, and these narrative murals actually has a very unique characteristic and stylistic appeal. And I have been taking two timelines here because when I was reading or analyzing the murals, I have realized the tradition of mural in this temple, which has been started in the 16th century and it continues till the 19th century. And in this timeline, I have seen that the two kind of themes have been adopted by the artist as well as the painter. So the first thing that from the time period 16th till the 17th century, we have religious theme in which the tempera technique has been followed to adorn the mural. Tempera technique where basically the wall has been prepared with a lime plaster and porous, and then the mural has been painted by using natural colors. And during the 18th and 19th century, what we have is the contemporary theme, and in which the ex graffito technique has been adopted. Ex graffito technique means that the outline has been done and then the outline has been scratched. So in local language it is called chilling. So actually in the tradition of Bundelkhand, if you see the tradition of mural painting, the tradition of venerating Chhavi is very prominent. So here we have the first narrative panel in which you can see Lord Vishnu, he has been reclining on the serpent bed. And if I talk about a little bit of the aesthetic theory which has been mentioned in several Puranas and texts such as English Shastras, Vishnu Purana. So which in these texts the part of emotion or the rasa has been talked about. So in this particular painting or mural, if you can see that the goddess Lakshmi, she has been pressing the leg of the Lord Vishnu, and the Brahma, he has been emerging out from the navel of the Vishnu. So this whole composition actually depicts how the depiction of the Shringar Bhakti Ras, which was added on by the Keshavdas, who was one of the poets in the Orcha, which strongly talks about that the Shringar, that this particular rasa has the combination of Shringar, which means the emotion of love and rati, as well as here the devotion has also been shown, which is very clearly depicted. The next composition, which actually depicting one of the crucial episodes of the Ramayana, in the center of the composition you can see the Sweta Swayamvar, where the Lord Rama, he has broken out the Shiv Dhanush, which is known as Pinaka, and you can see the happiness of this particular movement has been very carefully chosen and depicted by the artist, and you can see how the semi-god has come and they have been shining flowers. So this particular composition has been reflecting the Shringar Rasa and as well as the Veer Ras, because the Lord has shown the power and he just broken the Dhanush of the bow. This particular episode again from the Ramayana has actually showcasing the battle between the army of Ram and the Ravan. And if you look at very, if I go back to the description of the Vishnu Dharmottara Puran says, when you are depicting the demon figure, it should be, looks very horrible, because the demon has this kind of pravati, because we have Madhyam Pravati Purush, so the demon has this kind of pravati. And in this particular depiction you can see fringe, the demons has been adorned in darker color, which actually giving you the some fearsome appearance. Now we have another depiction from the Ramayana, in which you can see Lord Rama, he has been seated on the chariot, he is in the battlefield, and very dedicatedly he has a keen eye towards the aim which he is pointing. So which shows that how much Veer Rasa that the figure has been composited is, and as our or the viewer, when we see these murals, we can actually take or understand these rasa which artist has chosen. Again, we have the scene from the Ramayana battle scene, the composition depicting the rasa. This is another very important, because we know that in Orcha, Lord Ram has been worshipped as a king, and here the coronation of the Rama has been happening, and which again shows the sentimental how true, because the murals actually not only talks about the aesthetic, but it also talk about the social, political and the culture of the particular region, and this shows that how much devotee has been connected towards the king form of Ram. Here we have the depiction of Panchmukhi Shiva, who has been flanked by God, Lord Vishnu, Ganesha, Brahma. Now this particular depiction is very important, because some historians has believed that the king who has been depicted here and paying reference to Lord Krishna is actually the Veer Singh Gundila. And if you read out the Veer Singh Charitra, which was written by Keshavdas, and he compared several qualities of his Lord with different avatars of Vishnu, with Krishna. So one can say that maybe this actually the artist has tried to depict how their patron, how their king has been dedicatedly involved in the worship of Lord Krishna. Again, we have various panels which are presented in the temple, which shows the depiction of Krishna involved in various leelas, he is subduing the demon Kaliya, and how come the people were venerating Krishna. Again, when I was talking about that this particular temple showcases different style and different themes, and out of the different themes we have one of the themes which is actually very important. This is the revolt of 1857, which has been showcases on the middle wall, and this particular panel located on the ceiling of the mandapa. So this particular panel mural actually talk about how much that particular event is very important in the Orcha region, and how much people have this connectivity, and the artist visions are talking about the changing political and the cultural narrative of the region. The next technique that we have is escripito, and this technique has been later on adopted in the 19th century. And in the 19th century, the political situation of the region has also changed, because the Britishers, they come into power, they took the charge of the region as well. And here if you see the central slide, you can see the present, the Britishers has occupied the central composition in the painting. So this again shows that when you are supposed to rule a territory or a region, you have to rule the cultural, you have to understand the cultural significance, and the culture has also changed when the political significance is changing. So in the conclusions, by concluding this, I can say that the architectural and artistic features of the temple serve as a valuable historical record of region's cultural life. The murals and the unique elements reflect the choice of the patron and artist, showing how the temple became an important experiencing political and cultural change. This space not only fulfilled the religious roles but also mirrored the changing social and political landscape. So thus the temple stands as a archival documentation of the time period, of the dynamic of history and identity of its time. Thank you so much.